That is how I feel about these bad situations that happen in Jamaica. It is a dot, on a sheet of paper, so everybody zooms in on that dot. You could have a white sheet of paper, and on that white sheet of paper, there is a dot. The only thing that you will see on that piece of paper is the dot. And you don't see all the nice, beautiful, clean area around. All you see is that one little dot, and that is what you zoom in. I'm a Jamaican living abroad, and I like to speak about all things Jamaican, and I'm coming to you guys today with this big concern that is out there. There is a stigma that Jamaica is not safe. It's not a safe place to travel to. I don't know if you guys are aware of that travel advisory website that usually measures the safety level of different countries. Well, on that site, Jamaica is at a level 4, which is the highest level any country can receive. Level 1 is, pretty much saying you can go, you can travel, but you want to exercise caution. And that is a pretty normal thing, because anywhere you go, you have to exercise caution. Level 2 is, you can go, but at the same time, heighten your caution awareness, heighten your awareness, Level 3 is more like reconsider traveling, and level 4 is do not travel. And that is where Jamaica is right now on the travel advisory website. Do not travel. As a Jamaican, how do I really feel about that? Do I feel like Jamaica is as dangerous as they say? One thing I can say is that Jamaica is not a violent country. And when I say violent country, I'm talking about war outbreaks. Jamaica do have its little issues here and there when it comes to crime, and I think that's pretty normal, Every country has that issue. Of course, some countries, when it comes to crime, their crime is probably less than other, but crime is a problem, I feel, for many countries, and Jamaica is also one of them. But it doesn't mean that Jamaica is a violent country and you cannot travel there. So keep in mind that Jamaica is a small island, but even though we are a small island, we are not a dot, The country is not a dot. It is actually 4,244 square miles. That's the area of Jamaica, and it is made up of 14 parishes. So if you hear of something happening in a particular parish, it doesn't mean that the entire country is contaminated with violence or with crime. It doesn't mean that you cannot go outside and walk around and conduct your day-to-day business. So I wouldn't say that Jamaica is unsafe or unsafe to travel to. So that is my perspective and my take on that as a Jamaican. Well, the thing is, when you have never been to Jamaica before, or you don't know anything about the country, and you come up on information like this, it can terrify you, it can scare you, and you may not want to travel to the country based on what you are reading about. But if you should take the chance and visit, you will find that the environment is not pretty much what is said. It's not what they say. I mean, I can give an example of that. I went to Jamaica last year, and when I got to Jamaica and I stepped foot on the ground, I did not feel unsafe in any way. As a matter of fact, I got my car and I drove from Kingston to Manchester. I was all over the place, and I never at any point felt unsafe. Never. But it's only common sense to know that you should exercise caution anywhere you go. Even here where I'm living in the United States, I could go downtown and I'm going to exercise caution because that's a normal thing, you know? So when I was in Jamaica, I never felt unsafe in any way. Gosh, so beautiful and lush. Oh. It's like an overgrown garden right down there, and I just love how everything is just all grown up. The only thing that's missing is a few animals down below. So how does the stigma of Jamaica being unsafe, how does that affect tourists or tourism? Well, I don't think it actually affects Jamaica in any way. People are still traveling to the country. People are still experiencing the beautiful energy of Jamaica, and they are returning home with good experiences, you know, beautiful things to talk about, and they are actually planning their next trip back to Jamaica. I actually have a friend who was planning a trip. Both her and her girlfriends, they were planning a trip to Jamaica to have fun, you know, and but this was happening around the time of burial, and unfortunately because of the hurricane she had to cancel her trip. But what I am just saying is that people are still traveling to Jamaica, and people are finding out that, oh, I wonder why Jamaica is rated at a level 4. As a matter of fact, not too long ago, I want to say months ago, it was at a level 3, and now it is escalated to a level 4. But it is you've pretty much heard it from YouTubers going to Jamaica, and they're like, no, I don't understand why Jamaica is at a level 4. So yeah, Jamaica is not unsafe. It is a beautiful island. The people are very respectable. Tourism, I don't really believe it is affected in any way. How does the stigma affect returning residents? Now listen, I feel that because of the energy or what is being spread out there on the internet and on social media platforms, yes, has caused some effect on returning residents. And while some returning residents are affected by it, there are some who just really don't care, and they are going to go home because home is home. Somebody said east or west, home is best, right? So home is home, and no matter what drama is going on, they're going back home, you know, to Jamaica. So I believe, yes, it has created some minor damage, but for the most part, nothing. Well, the reason why returning residents are shaken up by this is because it is publicized everywhere. It is so loud on social media. As soon as there's a particular crime that takes place, you know, any little thing happened, there's going to be people talking about it. And of course, you know that people likes drama. People likes to hear about these kind of things, and they zoom into it and they attach to it, and it circles the entire space. It circles the entire social media atmosphere, and because of that, it almost gives a false impression, really, that Jamaica is not a good place, and that is not so. I really wish that, you know, people would put in more time speaking about the beautiful, wonderful, and positive things, and about our country more than just zooming in on something minor that happened, you know, like something, the one little negative thing that happened. Somebody once told me that you could have a white sheet of paper, and on that white sheet of paper there is a dot, and the only thing that you will see on that piece of paper is the dot. And you don't see all the nice, beautiful, clean area around. All you see is that one little dot, and that is what you zoom in. And that is how I feel about these bad situations that happen in Jamaica. It is a dot, you know, on a sheet of paper, so everybody zooms in on that dot. Hold on a second, let me take a sip of tea. By the way, this tea that I'm drinking, it is Earl Grey tea from this packet right here. The reason why I'm bringing this up is because it reminds me of lime leaf tea in Jamaica. It gives me a little flavor of that. But anyhow, yeah, but let me see, let me take another sip. So yeah, so as I was saying, that people focus so much on that dot that the good is overshadowed. But am I saying that this issue of crime in Jamaica is not a problem? Yeah, it's a problem, but it is also a problem in other countries too, you know? I don't think that should deter anybody from going back home. So how does the stigma affect returning residents? So it shakes us up, you know, some of us, we are fearful of returning home, but not for the reasons that tourists would be fearful of. For returning residents, at one point they were being, you know, targeted in a sense where they would break into homes and they would maybe take lives and maybe take their assets and so forth. But again, it is rare, but the 1 or 2 times you hear about it, it explodes everywhere on the internet, and we become fearful. Returning residents become fearful of that, and they are afraid of returning home. But when it comes to a place to live in Jamaica, I would say I would never recommend for anybody to go and just build a home in any random places in Jamaica. I feel like that is just asking for trouble. Sometimes you have to move away a little bit and move out of the area or the environment where you grow up, and you know, just establish a home somewhere else. As a matter of fact, now in Jamaica, most people are moving towards communal living, where they are building homes in subdivisions, and you know, people are buying homes in subdivisions because it's a community of people, and that way you will know your neighbors and more likely get into their business and know what they're doing. If anybody comes into the neighborhood that you don't know, then you know, there's so many different eyes to see who belongs and who don't belong, thing like that. So people are moving towards community living these days. So to me, that is a way of actually solving that problem of not feeling safe when it comes to residing in Jamaica. But as far as traveling around, walking around, being a resident, just being a local resident, nothing to worry about, you know. So yeah, because once again, Jamaica is not a violent country. It is just a country that has its little issues here and there, just like any other country out there.
Morning, man.
How has this affected local residents? No, they move about just the same way, doing their business and so forth. once again, if you have to exercise caution, you exercise caution, but it's not heightened to the sense where you have to look over your shoulder every second. You know, it's nothing like that. Some communities may not be, you know, the most safest communities to be in, but don't every country have their communities like that? So it is definitely not a violent country. I don't think it should be rated as unsafe to travel to. I don't believe that it really needs to be at a level 4, but you tell me, let me know, what was your experience like when you last visited Jamaica? I can tell you, when I last visited Jamaica, it was wonderful. It was amazing. I didn't feel fearful in any way. It was beautiful. But as always, exercise caution, because that is normal, a normal thing to do. All right. Thank you so much for watching my video, and thank you for sitting with me and throughout this video. Please go ahead, like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.